The big breaking story right now following the record rain in several districts of Andhra Pradesh and particularly in the holy city of Tirupati. At least 17 people are now being reported dead. Over 100 are missing in the torrential rain and floods that several districts of Andhra have seen in the last few days. Uma Sudhir joining us at this point. Uma, a sudden big jump in those numbers. What are we hearing?
This is a collating of the figures that have happened over the last 48 hours, I must say, Ankita, because since Thursday afternoon and evening when the downpour happened in Tirumala and in the Tirupati town, following that we have had this, after the depression had crossed the coast yesterday in the morning, it is in the Rayalaseema region that heavy rains happened, and in fact all the reservoirs, water bodies have been full. The Rayalaseema region, the district of Chittoor district in which Tirumala Tirupati falls, Kadapa district are some of the worst affected. Anantapur as well as Nellore district also quite badly affected in these floods. But as of now, what we understand is that the figures have gone up because mainly in many places we have even seen visuals of people getting washed away, the kind of torrent of water which suddenly came rushing, and the death figures have mainly happened in those visuals that we had put out of the buses that were stranded in Rajampet Mandal of Kadapa district, where 3 RTC buses were in fact marooned there. And even before any rescue efforts could start, the waters came in a jiffy, and at least 12 people were in fact found dead. Subsequently, their bodies were found in different regions because they could not be rescued. What we understand is that the Cheyuru river, in fact, overflowed. The project there that overflowed, that Annamaya irrigation project, that spilled over, and suddenly there was a rush of water and there was no time at all for any rescue operation. So what has now happened is that the bus services in that area have been completely stopped. Rail services are disrupted to a large extent. Huge numbers of roads, in fact, have got cut off. What I'm talking about, the bus being marooned, is actually on a national highway that we are talking about. That's where this marooning of 3 RTC buses happened. Many villages also still remain cut off. Tirumala itself, at least 15,000 passengers pilgrims are believed to have been, in fact, stuck at Tirumala. Tirumala is the hill atop where the idol of Lord Balaji is. What is happening is that Tirupati town, the worst of the visuals have come in from Tirupati town, where in fact the Swarnamukhi river is in spate, and the water reservoirs that are there in and around Tirupati, all of them have been overfull and flowing, and that's where the worry is, because more and more rains is only adding to the disaster. The entire city is completely flooded. Many areas are underwater. The guard roads, which is the roads through which the vehicles drive up the Tirumala Hills, that was closed. But early this morning, I'm told that they were cleared of all the landslide boulders, and the ghat road has been opened, but the walkways which people take to go up the hill, that is still closed. Right. But I would think that this is still a very precarious condition. Landslides can happen anywhere, the kind of downpour that we have seen, and therefore may not be wise for people who are heading to Tirumala or who have their booking. Please miss the booking now, and I would advise that they should in fact postpone their trip to anywhere in the Rayalaseema region, and especially Tirupati and Tirumala should not be chosen as a time to visit at this time. The other important development is that Kadapa airport also has been closed for operations till the 25th of November, because Kadapa is also one of those areas which is very badly affected. And Renigunta airport had also, in fact, Renigunta is the Tirupati airport, that had also in fact suspended operations. The Prime Minister has spoken to Chief Minister and assured all the help, but they are expecting that crops in over 1 lakh acres may be damaged in that entire area. Of course, NDRF and the disaster rescue force also on standby. In fact, they are having work round the clock, because rescue operations have to be done from many areas where we are getting reports of people being marooned. Back to you.
Uma, just a clarification there in terms of the number of pilgrims you said was stranded. It sounded like a massive figure. Could you repeat that for us?
Yes, Tirumala is a place that's, the most visited temple shrine, not just in India, but anywhere in the world. And usually you get anywhere between 40,000 to 50,000 pilgrims on a day. So What I was talking about is Tirumala, which is atop the hills of the Tirupati, which is Tirupati is the temple town below, and Tirumala is where the Swami Venkateshwara Swami temple is there, and there are lots of cottages there, and that's where about 15,000 pilgrims are atop the hill or inside the cottages that have all been built for the pilgrims. Usually what happens is people undertake a day trip. You go in the morning and come down, or you take a day or two and stay at Tirumala. But now, because of the kind of landslides that have happened, at least 15,000 pilgrims are at Tirumala in the cottages and other facilities that have been built. Atop the hill, you don't have flooding. So in that sense, there is no danger of loss of life. Even if they are stranded there, they don't need to be rescued immediately. Once the roads are cleared, the Ghat road being opened, those pilgrims also can start moving downhill towards Tirupati town.